Today's video is our trip to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We left Phoenix, a non-stop flight on Southwest Airlines, and the flight was full, but fortunately I had a cute girl sitting next to me. Before you knew it, we arrived at the jungle in Cancun, rented our car, and headed to our all-inclusive resort. Due to traffic, we didn't get there till evening, but it was spectacular. After a night of travel and entertainment, we woke up the next morning, had a great breakfast. I got my typical omelet, and I'll just give you a quick sample of the buffet that they have available for breakfast. All different types of juice. Kelly usually got sushi for breakfast. Seemed like a strange thing to me. But you had lots of choices, and I was more than pleased with the food. You could choose what you had put in your omelet, and I selected all the ingredients I liked. You could have, I don't know, poached eggs or fried eggs or scrambled eggs made. And due to COVID, you had someone that would always serve you, and they were always quick to bring you water, juice, or whatever you needed. But we eat well because we know we're heading off for the day and we may miss lunch. But on this day, we didn't really have much plans. We decided to explore down the beach ways. Of course, I guess I should show you where we're actually eating breakfast. It's there right behind me, where we've got this waterfall and lagoon. You can watch iguanas and basilisk down there. And of course, before we explored the beach, we have to walk through the hotel grounds. And there's an agouti. Interesting duck. Of course, peacocks all over the place.
We don't need to go to the zoo. We have an agouti on the grounds. Oh, a little agouti. Maybe you'll hear them.
This is
monkey.
our resort that we're staying at.
There's the howler monkey, I told you.
Flamingos. And that's the monkey.
And the howler monkey.
This is my kind of resort. Lots of animals right on the grounds, from the flamingos, peacocks, ducks, and different birds, to the iguanas and basilisks, howler monkeys, agoutis, coatimundes. But we gradually made our way down to the beach. Of course, we had to pass the pool, but the beach is just spectacular.
All right, this is old guy height number what, Jerry? I don't know. It's more than a quarter of a mile.
Our resort was on the south end of the town, so we hike a little bit south, and there are no more people, and we have the beach and the place all to ourselves. Just spectacular. Fine coral, shells.
We're here at the ocean.
I'm surfing.
We're not sure what's going on, but we've got a raft now, so
Okay.
we'll be safe. Find our way through the jungle. It might be a lean-to before long.
The vegetation in the jungles, well, I was going to use the word spectacular, but compared with what we're used to in the desert, it's lush and green. And the ocean in the background makes it, well, nothing other than spectacular. Of course, I had to include myself in the picture so you know I'm actually there. It's a pretty nice way to spend the morning, hiking along the beach and exploring the jungle, and just enjoying the sun and the ocean. Of course, lots of photo opportunities, and we also see iguanas. But enjoy the vegetation and the coral. Of course, Kelly just loved that raft. I'm surprised he didn't bring it back. And of course, had to get in the water a little bit.
Somewhere in the jungle here, not far from our resort. Just spectacular. Very cool. This is Kelly. For some stupid reason, he decided to head off through the jungle here. There's a trail. This is probably where the cartel's hiding out.
Jerry Pipe and myself, Kelly Paul, are deep in the jungle, and we found what appears to be an agouti trap. Where are we, Jerry? We're in Quintana Roo, Playa del Carmen, somewhere, anywhere.
And we can't be that deep. There's a fence here.
Oh, stop it.
It was time for me to take a quick dip in the ocean and cool off, and just enjoy some of the waves and watching the ocean. There's Kelly hiking along the beach, and I have to get the picture of me coming out of the beach, out of the water, and of course the sexy slow motion. Man, that guy's a studly looking guy, if I do say so myself. Not bad for an old guy. At any rate, that's enough of me. Let's get back to our hike along the beach. Some of the coral Kelly found. More iguanas. And of course, we always stop to act like monkeys and climb up trees. And if I do it, so does Kelly. It was a fun morning hiking along the beach, checking out the jungle, seeing some of the birds and different wildlife. But eventually we made it back to the resort. And as our timing would have it, I think it was time for lunch. I also forgot to mention one of the animals they had on site, African spurred tortoises. Yep, let's go to Mexico and see an African spurred tortoise. But still pretty cool. Oftentimes we'd see agoutis and iguanas down there in the pen with the tortoises. There are also a number of aquatic species, and I'll show some of those later. But as you make your way to your room, you pass a number of agoutis, monkeys. I think Kelly's got his little finger up its nose. I don't know what he was doing. But the peacocks, it's just cool to see them all. But that's our way to lunch. As we went through the lobby, I found it funny that There's a peacock in there. And of course, they have other birds and parrots that are intended to be there. But after lunch, we decided we'd head to Tulum. And since I did a full video on each of our little excursions, I'll only show you a couple pictures of the ruins there. Tulum, the ruins, Mayan ruins on the coast. And of course, they have lots of iguanas there, so that makes it cool. But after that, back to the hotel, a few pictures of monkeys, cool off swim in the pool, and then it's time to eat dinner. Kelly gives dinner 2 thumbs up. I'll give it a thumbs up too. Of course, on our way to dinner, we have to pass all the monkeys and agoutis and coatimundis, which just makes it kind of cool. I don't know that I'd ever seen an agouti before, or at least remembered seeing them or knew what they were if I did see one. But they're a large rodent. It's always cool to walk down to the beach and just see the ocean and the white sand. Just a spectacular place, spectacular setting. And of course, once you get tired of everything at the hotel, next morning was time for another trip. And since I've got a video on that, I'll just show you those few pictures. The cool thing was climbing up to the top of the forest, looking out, seeing basilisk and other animals. And then in the afternoon, we went to Coba. And since I've got a video on that, we won't give you much. But rest assured, we made it back for dinner. Just enjoying the resort. We tried to play pickleball, but even though they had a court lined for it, they didn't have a net for it. They seemed a little bit confused. But when we had a few spare moments, we enjoyed just hiking around the property, seeing the grounds, checking out the different pools. And of course, we had to go in them some as well. But just spectacular. It's amazing to think that this was one of the less expensive resorts, one of the cheaper resorts, if you will, because of course, my thriftiness, or not wanting to waste money on just a hotel. But being all-inclusive, it's pretty cool. The next day, we went to a cave. And of course, all these different adventures we just do on our own with our car rental. We could just drive right to them and go in, and allows us to spend as much time as we want there. Where when you take a tour, you're kind of bound by the timing of the tour. But just spectacular places to see. And even if you just go on a tour to the places and you don't have them all to yourself, because you're in a group, I'd still recommend it. Then in the evening, we come back, and if you want, every night they have a show. We spent a couple minutes at a couple of the shows, but for some stupid reason, we'd rather be out looking at agoutis and walking through the grounds at the resort or looking at the ocean. We usually made it back for dinner by, I don't know, 6:30 or so. And we'd eat, I was going to say 2 or 3 plates full, but I know it was always at least 3 plates full. And then we'd get desserts. And then we'd walk it off a while, go up to the room for a few minutes, maybe check out the show for a few minutes. And then by about 9:30, we'd come back for a second helping. I don't know how we didn't both come back over 200 pounds. But needless to say, we enjoyed the food. Quite a variety. Every night a little bit different, but they still had a lot of the main items that you would want. You had to wear your mask when you were getting your food and when you were in public areas. And of course, before we left, we had to have a COVID test to enter the U.S. And they actually did that right at the resort. Of course, if we got back early enough from whatever our daily adventure was, you could always spend some time down at the beach. It was a nice way to cool off, jump in the ocean, swim a little bit in the cool ocean water, and then jump in the warm pool.
Yeah, my husband got it right in the face.
The lady offered some helpful advice. Don't stand under the monkeys. The next day was off to Chichen Itza. Always a spectacular place to see. Lots of souvenir vendors. But I just get amazed at the place and love seeing the iguanas. Get back at night. Time to eat. And on this occasion, I was able to snap some pictures of some of the different aquatic turtles roaming around. Some type of red ear slider there. I'm not actually sure what this one is. Living in a desert, I just don't know my aquatic turtles as well as I should. They also had koi ponds, and you can enjoy watching all the different fish swim around. Just an amazing, amazing place. There's Kelly and I out to the beach. Viva Mexico. Have to check on the African spurred tortoise. They had several of them. Walked by the flamingos, and there was an opossum. You see a number of anoles. Check out the fish. Then it was time for another trip the next day, off to swim in cenotes. Closed cenotes and open cenotes. But just a spectacular time, spectacular trip. Spectacular iguanas. And the maid made plenty of interesting little things with the towels. I think I've got way too many pictures of agoutis and just not enough pictures of coatimundes. Maybe too many pictures of myself. A few pictures of Basculus. I guess that was kind of the entrance to our resort. But every night we'd have a new towel thing on our bed. From swans to you name it. And of course, we had the ping pong challenge. Kelly can tell you how that went, if he's willing. We didn't do that, but we had a great time. It was time to head back. So I hope you enjoyed this little visit to Cancun, the Maya Riviera, and our little adventures. And if you want more details on each of the places we went, check out the hiking videos. Take care.